Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 127 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. Let's start with the progress report. As you can see, my network plus that of the corporation is now at 298 billion ISK. Looking at the chart, you can see that it's a plus 4 billion compared to last week, which would make sense. We did a lot of ratting this week, so it did show up in the corp wallet, and that's that's what it should be. So yeah, not a big progression. Again, we're with the amount of people we have and this fuel we're consuming, we're on a slow climb up. Generally speaking, but again, we're not that like when we had like twice the active member at some point when we're in pure blind, so we're not at that level, but we're still climbing. We're still climbing, and we're still a healthy corp, I would say. So, or LT Alliance. Anyway, now HR. As you can see here, we are now at 460 members, so it's a -2 compared to last week. We did lose 2 people this week. We did get some new one, and so, but with the alt and everything, it just averaged up to -2. Again, this is I'm never happy to lose people. I'll say it again, and the 2 people that left were like long-time member that just wanted to do some other thing. We're in a real weird spot right now. Well, first of all, the game in general, there's not much I can do about. Like if you say like 19 active member, peaking at 24, not even 25k online at the max. Average 94 now if you look, and that's been going downhill for a bit, like for the last month, which is kind of scary. Even the last 3 months weren't that big, but it's even worse now, and we're going in the summer. And if you look overall in 6 months, you had like a lot more people. You had peak like at the 35k, which is like 10k less. Again, not that's the general state of the game, and there's really not that much I can do about that. There's things I can do about what's happening in WOMP, and I'm trying to do the best that we can. Again, the weird spot, I'll kind of explain it more in detail when we get into the political part. Well, actually, we're getting there, so you'll see a little bit why I'm saying we're in a weird spot. So I don't know if you remember, but when I talked with you last week, we had structure that were refed with the implementation of Siege Green. Severance had a fleet that came in with and ref 3 structure, and then Tired came in a day later to ref another one. So we had three structure coming out on the same day, which ended up in a no-show. So I'm guessing they were busy somewhere else, so they didn't show up for the fight. We had a bunch of people formed. So what happened is that since we were formed and they refed our station, we crossed into enemy territory. And to Tenerife, we refed their fort and 3L3, and then we went to Imencia and we refed another station around XD here. So we refed 2 stations because we had a fleet form and they refed our station, so it's kind of like tit for tat for there. Then the next day we had a fight against. We had a structure that we had refed earlier during the week, which is an Astralis and 3L3. So during that day, beginning of the day, XIX tried to come and ref the jump bridge in GJO, and we flash form and push them off. So this one was pretty much we pretty much destroyed their Hurricane fleet. And again, their smaller number, even our enemies like XIX used to be able to form a lot more than that. When they came, they were like larger fleet. So we did flash form and push them off. Then we dropped on the evening. We went to shoot the Tenerife fort, which is a flying dangerous fort. And well, again, we had a small fleet, 52 people from our side. We got dropped on by Horde in the paladin fleet. So again, we're there in Serb against paladin. Not much we can do there. And we, like, wrecking crew cannot fight Horde. If it comes to that, there's not much we can do. So again, it's like, it's basically they're starving for content too, so they're jumping in these little fight. And there weren't even any people from Flying Dangerous, which is the group that were attacked. And overall, fire had not formed, so they were completely carried by Horde. And it's the situation we're in right now, where you got the entire Horde fleet staging in XVV. There's they're not a Horde fleet. It's a SIG from Horde with a very large group of players that can fly Paladin, that have cap support and everything, and they're flying here because they're staging here because of the war against Goon. So anytime we try to push something against Tired, we can't really push, because even if we manage to ref station, you got Horde that will backphone every single timer that we are. So it's really like, it's a big kid playing in the kiddie pool at this point. There's not much we can do, so we just stay on our side of the border and form up if they do. But defensively, we can form pretty well, and we got this structure advantage, so they're not pushing on our side either. And they're, again, I'm thinking that also they probably don't want to push Wrecking Crew too hard to push us in the other camp. So there's a, like, it's getting into the geopolitical situation. So we're kind of in a stalemate again, because there's two major power. So what is left is there's a big war fighting between Imperium and Pappy, or what, the remnant of Pappy, XIX, supported by Horde and Northern Coalition. Right now, overall, I think that you could say that it's kind of leaning toward the Imperium, where they're pushing pretty hard. There was a big flip by Absolute Will to try to grab Omist. So they seem to have managed to secure at least a little bit the eastern part, the western part of the Omist, but they lost the eastern part. So there's kind of a front line around here, and they're fighting each other. From the looks of the battle report and everything, it seems that Absolute Will is getting supported by Imperium a lot, and they're fighting against Tire/Fire pretty regularly. So from our perspective, the only thing we can do is sometimes we go on these soft battle, we try to ore on a few kill, we try to just find content too. But again, the group that stage here, outside of these big soft battle, they're very much starving for content. So if we're trying to push one of the structure, well, it does end up, if they end up showing with the fleet that size, there's no way we can engage a fleet that size from Horde, especially with Horde having cap support and everything. So kind of we're kind of stuck at this point. But again, we managed to save all our structure, so we still haven't lost any structure yet. And our defensive game is pretty on point, I would say, at this point. So they can push, we can push. Stalemate. They did try to come a little bit later during the week with a fleet of Nightmare. So actually, that was pretty fun. We had Tired show up to our doorstep with 17 Nightmare. But as soon as we ping and started forming to defend the station they were trying to ref. They bailed out, so we didn't get a fight out of that one. So while this is happening, what we're doing is we're focusing on smaller gang stuff. We're roaming, filamenting, getting the content where we can. So you see like fight like this where we ended up in Scalding Pass, shooting blades of grass, and then the guy came back and managed to shoot a MOA from Severance. But like these are fight like this. We're small gang stuff that we're doing. We're going on roam. We're fighting local defense in the pocket. Like when people are flying around, we will form. We'll try to catch whoever's in the pocket and stuff like that. So it's pretty much a real focus on small gang stuff. And again, it goes down to also numbers. Those we are. If you look at like at some point we were peaking at 90, almost 90 active. We're back down to hovering around 60 more or less. Again, this is state of the game and state of WOMP. What would really help us and what we're trying is we're looking at recruiting members and we're recruiting corp. We are hurting a little bit in the US time zone. So, well, it's not empty. Like you say, like there's 18 online right now. Some of them are out. So we still are a healthy corp. But having the ability to do more roam and more activity on the US time zone with larger number, there's more fight. When you get larger number, there's more fight you can take. So that would really help. And I'm also looking for a US time zone FC, which is kind of working because our main FC are mostly Euro time zone. So when we are in US time zone, we do have junior FCs, but I'm looking for somebody that has more experience and that could take like a larger fleet in the US time zone. So if you have a corp and you're also getting into a point where when you're hurting for member 2, or you say, okay, I got people online but not enough to do something interesting, well, it might be a good way of teaming up and doing something. But anyway, that's pretty much the situation we're in right now. Again, hopefully what we're really waiting for is for the Imperium / Horde war to end up and for these guys to go home so we can resume whatever we're doing against Fire Tire. So that's pretty much it. Again, WOMP is recruiting, so just reach out in game or grab my Discord or whatever. Aside from that, me personally, I'm training like completing skill level 5 skill for missile and missile guns and stuff like that. But still, I'm now at 76 million skill point. And I got 2 million next. So whatever I want to fly, I can. Can't afford a Titan yet, but I'm not sure I would fly it anyway with Horde around. The other thing on our industrial side, we are ready. We have an Asbel ready to anchor to start getting back into capital production, but we're not going to anchor that with Horde flying around. So well, it's not fully ready, but I mean we're pretty close. We could anchor one next week if we wanted. The only thing that we won't do is that we can't anchor that with like 25 super cap from Horde and within jump range of our space. So I'm not putting a kill mill like this, like a potential kill mill like this on grid right now. So we're more or less in playing the waiting game for now and focusing on small gang stuff where it doesn't make sense for them to intervene in our small gang stuff. So that's what we're focusing at, and the guys are going roaming and doing some other stuff. So that's pretty much it. again, if you guys have any question, if you got comments, just add them. I'm fully transparent, saying things as they go. I've always tried to be as truthful as I can with whatever I'm putting out, and giving my perception, of course, which is always biased based on the information I have and my perception of the thing and the people I know in game and everything else. So anytime you're listening to anybody in EVE, you have to assume a little degree of bias, but I'm trying to be as transparent as I can when I do these things. Aside from that, just generally speaking with the channel, I'm thinking of doing, I don't know, maybe something to add a little bit of excitement in the channel. I am occasionally playing some other game that I might start adding. Last time I did that wasn't too much, but I don't have any ambition of becoming a big time YouTuber, or I'm just documenting our day-to-day corp, which is useful for our member and for the people that have been following the story. But I might go into a tutorial. I was thinking of doing maybe some warfare tutorial, or I could starting to post fleet fight, but a lot of people are just so much better than me at this. So, and there's a lot of stuff out there. So I'm trying to focus on stuff that hasn't been covered 10 times already, and where you don't have where I'm adding value and not just posting another stuff. Also, some people have asked, like, why is there publicity in your video? The reason is I'm paying for our WOMP IT with that. Okay, there we do have an internal server, which is hosted on a cloud provider. It's costing $40 a month. So pretty much 100% of the revenue from the channel just pay for the WOMP server. It's kind of more or less balance out. I'm putting a little bit out of my pocket, but I don't really care. So that's pretty much it. Again, hope you guys enjoy, and see you guys next week. Bye bye.